Hey, what's going on, everybody? I assume a lot of people are probably wondering where I am and why I'm not posting any videos. The property that I usually shoot guns at also serves as my hunting property. Currently, I'm out here. I just grabbed a cam from this tree. Gonna be moving it to a separate part of the property. I'm hoping to put some cell cams out soon. Today's August 14th, 2025. It's about 88 degrees out, clear skies. Looking forward to this year's deer season, but that's probably the main reason why I'm pushing away from shooting guns out here. Trying to make the deer feel comfortable. Shooting guns have never really been an issue out here, especially where I shoot at, and I don't do it very often, at least at this location. Hey guys, I just wanted to say another thing too while I'm down here in this bottom. Last video I said a lot of ums and a lot of like hesitating. I'm gonna try not to do this video. Watching the last video over, I think I said it like over 60 times. So we're gonna try not to do that this video. As you notice, we're down here in this bottom. Up here's an ag field. About 5 acres of woods right here, and then another ag field. Where I came in, I believe, is a bedding area. This is the first time I've been down here in early season. So it's real thick, about mid-chest high width of grass and just kind of vegetation. But it's real open. I think deer run this quite a bit. I don't see any fresh signs, but I definitely see deer tracks. If you notice over here, this is like a creek bottom. So water still flows through here, but there's a lot of deer sign down here, and I called an audible last year and hunted down here kind of mid-season, later in the month of October. So everything was kind of dying down. We didn't have a whole lot of vegetation down here. Caleb actually ended up shooting his buck tucked behind this brush, this fallen down brush. Shot it right across over here on this ridge. It ended up surviving until gun season, and then gun season he actually ended up shooting it. But this is a really good bottom. Another spot that I think Caleb's gonna want to sit this year. We're hoping to put up some sort of blind right here. Again, that's where he shot his buck at last year. It literally, with a crossbow until gun season, then shot it again. Like I said, we know it's the same buck because it obviously had the wound from the crossbow. He made a good shot on it. It's just one of those things that it was a little far behind, a little far back, and it was quartering away. So he ended up surviving. With that though, trying to set it up a little bit better to where he has a better opportunity, some better shooting lanes. Within this distance, you probably have about a literally 5 to 10 yard shot right here. And he probably took about a 15, 20 yard shot, but how thick it is through here made that shot very difficult. Regardless, there's a lot of bugs down here. I'm gonna get moving, like I said, to go set up this trail cam about 700 yards north on this property. This is what we call the East Woods. But yeah, with that being said, try not to repeat myself. With all that said, this is an awesome spot. I plan on moving the cam back down here. Ordered a couple cell cams. They'll be in next week. I really want to try to get this particular buck on cam that I had last year in hopes that he's still alive. So that's why I'm moving this cam. I'll show you pictures of him and talk a little bit more about it when I'm closer to, or when I'm at the spot setting up the cam. But yeah, that's it. That's all I want to say. Down right over here. I just smoked them. This is at that 5 acre woods. There I am saying, again. Yeah. Right down here is that bottom that I was just in. Kind of moving fast through here. Not too worried about bumping deer. It's such a early time in the season. But yeah, he was just, you can see if it was a buck or a doe, but bedded down probably out here. Jumped up and ran off. Let's keep moving. Finally made it to the corner of this big field. This one behind me. That deer blind is where Caleb shot that buck at last year, about 200 yards into this field. He came out over there from that bottom, actually the opposite side of that bottom. Came out. Down there is where I was in the creek bottom. That deer came out, walked all the way up, shot him at like 200 yards. Over here, we have another ag field on the opposite side of this vineyard. This is a big strip of woods, but it's real thin, probably about 40 yards wide. And it just runs this whole edge, runs all the way up. Today, I'm moving into this field, going back to what we call the North Woods. Right here's the west. It's about 15 acres or so. Sit down again. Right down this wood line is where I shot my buck at last year. Looking forward to pushing down this way, seeing for some deer activity. I got 2 cell cams coming up. I want to put one over here because I had a bachelor group of bucks come in the morning that I shot my buck. And I want to see where the deer are moving over here. But right now, I'm more focused on this North Woods because last year when I had the cam set up over there, I got a real nice double split brow buck. And if he made it through last year, that deer should be a real nice buck this year. Should have put on some height and width to those antlers of his. So hoping that he's over here still. That's why I'm moving this way. But like I said, I'll put the cell cam up here when I get it, and then another cell cam over in the North Woods, and I'll return the cam that I'm putting in the North Woods back to the creek bottom because that's easy access to check that cam. This obviously is such a long walk that I'm wanting to make it just a very few times. And as the year progresses into the fall, I'll be able to monitor that deer if he is on cam and kind of his patterns, and maybe be able to pinpoint where he's coming from and what his interest is on this property. Like that or not, but just trying to update you guys. Haven't talked a lot or any at all about my deer hunting, but right there on the ground found a scrape, and I believe these deer to be coming from this North Woods and moving towards the West Woods. So that's kind of a bit of a confirmation. The question is what deer is that? can we pattern why he's here? Again, is it the food resources? Assuming, is it water? Is this kind of like just a summer range for him? Like, I'm trying to figure out what these deer are doing on this property. Obviously they're living here, and that may seem like a rhetorical question, but I want to pattern what they're doing, I guess is a better way of putting it, to see where they're moving at on the property. Like if he's hitting that scrape, so he wants to hit that ground scrape, but does he go up there and feed? Or does he bed back there, then come here, hit the ground scrape, and go and feed? I hope that's making some sense to everybody, but I figured I'd update you guys with that, given I just came across it and it kind of verifies what I've been thinking in the past. So let's keep moving up to this Northwoods. Okay, we're finally back at the split between these two fields. I just want to take the time real quick to talk about the deer that I'm after. Deer I'm after is this double split brow. I'll put a picture up on the screen right now. The double split brow. Real nice buck. Hoping he made it through last year. If he made it through last year, I think this year he's going to be a solid deer. So that's why I made this trip. That's why I moved that cam. I was going to hold out until I got the cell cams, but I'm really eager to see whether or not I got him on the property still. If he is, it's going to be my #1 priority. If there's a different deer back there, that will be my #1 priority. Looking for the most mature buck on this property. That's why I'm kind of spreading out some of these cams. It's a massive property. I'm not in the financial state to be able to buy 5 cell cams and just scatter the property with them. But I do have enough to purchase 2 cell cams, and I have that one Tasco that again is going to be down there in that bottom. The 2 cell cams will be on this field. This is the most buck activity. I see most of the bucks coming from here, and then I see some bucks down there in that bottom. I think they're coming from neighboring properties, so I don't think they're living on these properties. They may bed down here, but I don't think in particular that they're actually living on the property. And in between there, I mean, there's some other spots. There's a guy that hunts on the other side of this West Woods, right at the end of the field. He says he kills a buck every single year, and they're all moving on the West Woods. And we've hunted here for the last 4 or 5 years now, and I mean, we don't hunt it as hard as we should. That's why this year I'm hoping to take it more serious, get out here more. I'm not always too big on the whole trail cams and setting up food plots, and I've talked about it with the guy that I hunt here, Caleb. I've talked about it with Caleb, but I'm not too big on it. I'm more of a get out in the woods and see what's out there kind of guy. I'd rather see him in person than to work up off of some trail cameras and then never hit the woods, which seems to happen quite a bit. That's why I'm out here again, trying to set up some trail cams just to get an idea, and then once I get that idea, then I'm going to focus really heavy on days I'm going to hunt, actually being out here, not being glued to checking the trail cams or only coming out here once in a while. Really wanting to take it serious this year. I do have some questions for you guys. Being this early in the season, You can kind of hear how I'm walking. I'm talking a little bit loud. Do you think that this is a bad idea? Do you think that walking and not kind of like creeping into the spot as if it was deer season or talking kind of loud ever affects the deer hunt? Like, do you think this strategy per se of me just walking out here casually and going up and setting up a cam, like I bumped the deer over here in the woods, do you think that actually affects whether or not the deer is going to stay on the property, or as if they're going to come back to the property, or if they even leave the property at all? So I'm curious. Leave your answers in the comment section below. Excuse me, I'm extremely parched. I need water, so I'm just kind of keep moving. And then second question, how often do you guys hunt? Oh wow, look at this. Hold on. I just seen like the world's biggest spider right here. Where's it at? A massive spider. I don't even know what kind of spider that was. Anywho. Yeah, I don't know where that spider went, but I'm telling you, it was a big old body on it. About the size of a $50, probably bigger. I hate spiders. Hate spiders. Not like I'm gonna run from them, but gosh, one's on my body, I'm screaming. Anywho, so my second question is do you guys hit the woods heavy? Do you guys think it's more beneficial to be out in the woods during deer season, to be out in the woods and hunting every single day that you can? Like, do you set up multiple stands to be able to hunt different winds? Obviously this is probably situational, but like the west woods and the north woods, the wind obviously, or out here, usually kind of pushes towards the north. So I'll hunt the west woods a lot, but if the winds shift, I'll hunt the north woods. Just how I'm sitting, my wind's kind of going into the field and not into the woods. A lot of the deer are obviously coming from the woods on this property. They're not bedding in the beans or anything like that, from what I'm aware of. What do you think about that? Like, or do you just really only go on them cold front mornings? Do you only hunt the rut? I'm curious. Let me know. Saying again, trying not to say but curious. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you hunt as much as you possibly can? Do you only hunt the prime days, you know, the cold fronts, the weeks of the rut? And then also, me just walking out here early season, how do you guys treat early season? Do you come out here kind of more nonchalant? There's, you know, out in these rural areas, a lot of times deer don't really get too affected. There's a lot of farmers. The farmer that farms this land, he comes out here quite a bit. He's cut the grass here recently, or the hay on the edge of the fields and the waterways. And I'm curious, like, if they're coming out here and they're just doing what they're doing, not creeping around or anything, it doesn't affect the deer. Like, does that kind of apply to us? Should we not be as worried in the early season? I know some people are, so yeah, just a little bit of food for thought. Probably end up closing this video out here. Almost back to the truck, sweating pretty heavy. I need water. But yeah, that's it. If I get some pictures, I'll put them in the next video. Probably make a video. Setting up those cell cams, resetting that one trail camera, and kind of give you some updates as we move into deer season here. Again, it's August 14th. 80 degrees out right now, like 88 degrees, I think is what my truck said when I hopped out. So it's hot. Ready for the cold weather. Ready for the bugs to be gone. Ready for these trees to start turning brown. So yeah, looking forward to it. Fired up for archery season. Hope you guys are too. Stay blessed. Jesus is King. Yeah. Love you guys. Stay safe. Get ready for some deer season. Hopefully I got a lot of deer hunters watching, and keep following Christ. If you haven't yet, give your life to Christ. Love you guys. Peace.